so glad that you made it this early time. So we're not alone. Welcome to the presentation of Coach Media's first MMO, which is called 7 Million. And we will have a presentation of the game. I think most of the time we will spend in the game, so it will be hopefully quite entertaining for you, as much as this is for us. And Jan Wagner, he's representing the developer, so he knows the game very well, because he helps to design and to produce it. Myself, I'm Sebastian Munich, I'm from Coach Media, I'm in the online business. And I will take the playing part, while Jan takes the speaking part.
Yeah, which actually is much easier. Apologies for dragging you all out so early. I'm glad to actually make it. Apologies for me not. I would do it in French if I could, but my French really sucks, so you have to bear with me. 7 million is what we like to call, or what we technically call a casual MMO, which means it's not trying to go head on head with titles like Age of Conan or reasonably big budget MMOs. And it's actually targeted at a different audience, which means we are looking at people that usually wouldn't play an MMO because they don't have the time, for example. It's too complicated for them. It's technically too demanding for their computer, and they might have fun playing it, but they'll never get around to do it because they simply can't with the current offerings. So a lot of the design that you see has three main points in mind, which is accessibility. Accessibility means easy to understand, easy to play, easy to download, easy to install, easy to start, and you don't have to have a huge amount of very expensive hardware to run it. At the same time, obviously, this means a certain amount of limitations with regards to graphics. So please, if you see this, we're not trying to compete with Age of Conan. We never do that. On the other hand, our game will run on virtually every laptop that you can think of. So there's certain compromises you need to make if you want to have that. Accessibility is one thing. Variability is another. 7 Million tries to offer you playing experiences geared towards the way the player wants to play. So we're not forcing you to have one style of gameplay, and if you don't have that style of gameplay, you're probably going to not have a lot of fun. Going to be stuck against, be much less interesting for you than for other players. We're actually offering various ways of playing the game, and I'll come back to that in a minute. The third thing is something that we like to call social gaming. It is a game, it's not a virtual platform, it's not a virtual city, it's not Second Life. Again, it is an actual game, but still we want people to also have fun in a social setting. So a lot of design issues that we have are geared towards allowing people to socialize and making it meaningful for them in the game to do that. I'll explain a couple of things on that issue later on. So, what's the game about? In essence, what we would like to call it is Ocean's 11 Online, because that's really what it is. But we can't because we don't have a license. So, let's think about the things that Ocean's 11 does, and when you think what happens in the films, you've got a couple of people together, they break into something in a very clever way and get rich while being cool doing it. So in essence, that is what we try to emulate in a way with 7 Million. One of the core gameplay mechanics is actually you breaking in with you alone or with your friends into a very succession of targets and trying to outsmart the building, so to speak, trying to get past the guards, trying to get through doors that are locked, trying to open safes, trying to disable alarms, trying to hack into computer systems and get stuff for various reasons. And you'll see more of the core gameplay. The game is set in a city. The city is made of different districts, and the districts are represented by factions, gangs, so to speak, very big gangs that control certain districts. We currently have 3 factions. One is the Huron, sort of Irish-English style faction. We've got the Lawford, more the West Coast American, Las Vegas, Hollywood style people. We've got the Stimato, who would basically translate to Mafia, but they're not ready yet, so I can't see them. But yeah, anybody can imagine how Mafia guy would look like. We start with the Huron. Character creation already, accessibility for us is a key fact. You don't need to fiddle around with trying to get the right size of nose versus your chin and eye movements or whatever. We're offering you a fairly easy way to create your character, you can modify your character, but it's going to be simple. Our main goal is from starting the play to actually having fun in the game in below 3 minutes. So we don't want to burden you with a lot of character creation. We don't have character classes. Character classes mean that there's a huge amount of stuff you need to think about before you actually play the game. Like, do you want to be a mage or a wizard or a priest? So what's the difference between a mage and a priest in the game? I probably wouldn't know until I've actually played the game if my decision to play this character class is right. And already I have to restart basically, because then once I actually realize what the fantasy MMO is about, I realized, I'd rather be a fighter. And then 15 levels onwards, I realized, oh no, a fighter has limitations that I don't like, and I have to restart because I'd actually rather be a paladin. So we do away with all that stuff. You choose your character. There are visuals, a couple of visuals that are fairly easy to modify. You still get a decent character. Obviously, that's not all the character creation choices we have visually, but there are just a couple of, like, 4 or 5 options for every set, and already you can create a number of characters that look differently and that might suit individually. Yeah, so we'll just start the game. It takes a while because the server and the client actually run on the same machine, which just goes to show how really easy we are on technology, but it's just going to take a bit to load in. Talk about the interface a bit more, because that's the only thing that's on currently. Accessibility, ease of use means easy interface. Basically nothing in this game is 2 clicks away, everything is 1 click away. Most of the time you wouldn't even need to use your interface because everything you do is actually done right on screen. If you have a back, it would be in here, you open the back, you drag and drop stuff that you want to use on the screen, and that's it. Inspecting other people, talking to other people, creating groups, chatting, all that stuff in this interface, but you virtually have no other interface that you would need to put up front. If you play World of Warcraft, then you know, like, everybody's like a huge amount of windows open while they play because they need to optimize stuff, and we don't want to do that. We want you to play the game and not click around in some sort of abstract tables. Yeah. The game is currently in pre-alpha. It'll reach alpha soon, but a lot of visuals aren't there. For example, we don't have actual light in, so there's no different colored lighting, it's just sort of a gray background. The basic principle is, as you would know, you have it in any MMO, you've got missions, you've got people giving you missions, and you can execute the missions, gain experience points, gain rewards, usually MMO mechanics. A couple of things we try to do is, with design, for example, if this guy gives you a mission to go to somebody, that person will probably be visible in the vicinity. Just because initially when you start playing the game and you never played MMO, it's hard to figure out how to do what the game wants you to do. And actually, for a lot of people, it's even hard to orientate themselves in a 3D environment because they've never played a first-person shooter, and all of them they played, I don't know, Bejeweled all the time, and all of a sudden they are set in a 3D world, and then they get dizzy moving around. So we'll try to make it as easy as possible for you, whilst at the same time obviously not boring the people who actually have played a 3D game before. Let's see, we just do a quick. Did you get the mission to do? Just do one really quick break-in, which is going to be the absolute first thing that you do, just to show you the principal game mechanics. That's really the visuals. Unfortunately, it's a bit dark in the building, so that comes across well. But in essence, in the game, if you've accepted a mission to break in and get something, or talk to someone in that building, sabotage a building, bring something in, find clues, whatever, you're going to break into a building, and there's going to be obstacles like a locked gate that you need to open. Anything that you do in the game that's needed to decide an action is done with a minigame. The minigames are, in essence, really our combat, because we don't have any violence in the game. You can actually not go up to a character and punch him on the nose. What you can do is go up to a character and say, I'll bet you I'll be better at this game than you are. I'll actually bet $5 or an item,